Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Lochknits knitting podcast. My name is Haley. It has been 3 months since I last filmed this podcast. I've just been really busy. If you are new here, my name is Haley. I can be found everywhere online as Lochknits. I am a tattoo artist, crafter, knitter, spinner, quilter, crocheter. I think that's it. And I have been gone for quite a while. It's been, like I said, I think 3 months, according to YouTube. I have been working on buying a house, so you probably noticed that this is a different environment for me, and there's also nothing on the walls. So the house situation is pretty new for myself and my partner, Nate. So that kept us very, very busy for basically the entire summer. I'll talk more about all this junk at the end. If you're just here for the crafts, we're gonna get into it right now. Because I was gone for so long, I even brought a book today. I even brought a book with notes. Because I was gone for so long, I have so much stuff to talk about. I've definitely been crafting. I'm sure that you guys can understand and relate to the sensation of like nervous crafting and manifesting, you know, calming vibes with the crafts. That's what I've been doing. Like I said, I have notes. I also have filmed most of this already. I have been filming at the tattoo shop. My tattoo shop is named Honey Tattoo. You can also find us online. All the links for the shop are down below. I was filming at the shop and our air conditioning broke. And for some reason, I just like could not wait until the air conditioning was fixed. I felt so compelled to film an episode between spurts of like running the fans and everything, and it was just one of those things where like the fans being on made too much noise, so I wasn't able to feel any like air circulation at all and film at the same time. So I basically am doing all of this again, but it's worth it. I've also, since I filmed last, dyed my hair and I got a mullet, so I'm basically all better now. I got a house, I got a mullet, I'm ready to go. Let's jump into finished objects in literally no particular order, like none at all, because I can barely remember which one happened when because it's been so long. This one I'm very excited about. This is my finished Scrappy log cabin crochet blanket. I basically just made this block up. I didn't follow any pattern. I just kind of went from vibes and like some jumping off points from some free pattern on Ravelry, but honestly, like I really took this and just kind of did my own thing with it. So each one of these squares is made with fingering weight scraps. Did I make a dent in my fingering weight scraps from this blanket? No, literally no. Like no, not at all, actually, hilariously. But the blanket's really cute, so that's fun. And I knew we were moving, so I really wanted a new blanket for my couch. I just thought it'd be a nice little treat for my household. So all of these blocks are, like, for the most part, color blocked. I basically just made little Ziploc bags of all of the little nubs and cakes of yarn that I had, grouped them by color, or like this one is just vibes, you know. Started here in the center with a little square, and then you can see this one, and then this one, and this, you know what I mean, log cabin style. So basically went around and around and around in a square, and then each one of these squares was made individually and just had like a stack of them. I think I ended up with 30. I was supposed to have like 42 to do 6 blocks across by 7 down, and I just like gave up before then. I was feeling tired, you know. So I did the blocks individually, and then I went around one round each square with this plain like cream colored yarn. And I had 3 skeins of the cream colored yarn, and I knew I wasn't going to use all of them, but I wanted to like have more than I thought I was going to need, and I wouldn't have to run out. And so I did 1 round around each of the blocks, and then I did join as you go. So if you see, there's technically between blocks I think 4 rows of crochet separating them. that was just kind of like the look I was going for. I didn't want them to be too skinny of stripes. But this whole thing is giving stained glass. It's pretty cool. It's definitely like a throw blanket, which, you know, wasn't for my bed or anything, so it didn't have to be like too big. This is so hot. Oh my Lord. This is another situation where I had to like turn the air conditioning off to be able to film this. So all of these, like I said, are scraps. The cream color is from Knit Picks. And like, honestly, rest in peace, Knit Picks. Nothing happened to them, they're fine. Glad to have used up what yarn I did, but like I said, it feels like I didn't make a dent in this really at all, but that's okay. Lovely blanket, she's cute. It's 90 degrees here. I live in Northeast Pennsylvania, and it's hot as hell here. That was finished object number 1. That was enormo. Oh. This is why I had to start taking notes. So the other thing that I finished in the time that I was gone was a Mount Pleasant tank top that I'm literally wearing. So I have a modified Mount Pleasant top that I'm wearing here. Do not look at my skirt. The Mount Pleasant is a fingering weight top, t-shirt, top. It's just called Mount Pleasant. It's not like the Mount Pleasant tee. I've made it before. It was previously knit up for me in a linen yarn, which I loved. And I followed the pattern when I made it the first time. And what do I want to say? What's that called? The armhole, whatever it is just too small for like the way that my mortal form is shaped at this time. I knit that a few years ago and I was a different woman then. So I actually gave it another shot the other day. Like, in all fairness to this top, I did give my first version another wear and it really wasn't bad, but I had like put it on and wasn't able to find the front. So I like yanked it off and like spun it around a bunch, and I like just couldn't find where the short rows were. And actually, after like bullying it for a little bit, I think I like stretched it out because I had just washed it. It was a little like crisp, and that felt better. I wore it all day. I went out with the girls. I'm definitely, oh Jesus Christ. I'm sure you guys can tell that I'm having like a Rudy Giuliani-esque moment with my hair dye sort of dripping down my face. It's hot and there's nothing I can do about that. Anyway, so I had worn my Mount Pleasant out with the girls all day and it ended up like feeling totally fine. So anyway, the whole reason that I like remade this and made it look almost exactly the same is because I thought that that other one didn't fit me, and I think it does. It just probably needed like a little. I remade this because everyone else in my craft group was, and I made it with modifications that my friend Sock basically like came up with kind of in the moment while we were all working on it together. She had made hers into a tank top. This is what the back looks like. I'm sweating, leave me alone. But she modified hers, and then, you know, I saw Regina George wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I made mine a tank top too. And I love it. Honestly, it's incredibly wearable. I wish I would have made it in a cotton yarn. I made it in a wool silk blend. I knit it from the Plies and Hellhounds yarn on her Selkie base, which I think is an 8515 merino silk. And the silk portion is what really led me to this project, because I thought it'd be nice and like drapey and everything, and it does. Like, I think the fit is really nice. It looks great with, like, I wear all of my pants basically like at my bust line, but it's just like a cute little tank top. It's not anything earth-shattering, but it's really cute. It's very wearable. I think it would look cute with I need to just bite the bullet this fall and get like one of those thin cardigans that's like completely unremarkable. It's just thin and like kind of wispy and like hangs off of you, probably from like an H&M or an Old Navy or something, but I think it would look really cute with that. And I love the way that sock, like basically, like I said, just came up with this shaping. I followed her instructions exactly, so it really worked out. But that is what I'm wearing. That's another finished object. And I have a vision in my mind's eye of getting like a group pic with me and my yarn gang all wearing them, because the ones of us who did finish them so far look so cute. So that was another FO. I have, next up, a pair of socks. I showed these when I think they were like literally like this much casted on. These are what I've been affectionately referring to as like the watercolor socks, because I think they just look so just like washy, like washed out, but not, you know what I mean? They look like they remind me of like crayon box, watercolor, like just paint palette, super cute. So my friend Megan, who is Rainbow Kit Kat, dyed this yarn 150 years ago, and I bought it at the Moon and Yarn craft room. And while I was knitting these, I knew they were gonna be for my friend Gail. She's always a good sport about socks that I make, and I'm at the point where I need to like really assess my sock situation, which I'm planning on doing this fall. I might even do like a goofy little 10-minute video of like my sock box. So I made these for Gail. She and I have the exact same shoe size, so it's pretty easy to just jump in with the pattern that I have memorized in my head. I made the tube, and while I was thinking about heels and toes and cuffs, and I just couldn't decide what color I was gonna go with, so I didn't choose. I just decided to put all of them in here. I knit a pretty standard 60 stitch sock tube. Usually I will start with a toe, but I added these after. So it was literally just a 60 stitch tube. And then the only fun thing that I did that was a little different is I put this tiny, like I knit 5 rounds, which is too many because I don't like how big this line is. But I knit 5 rounds, did some knit 2 purl 2, and then I think I knit another 5 rounds for the edge. So I would do the 5 rounds up here. I would maybe just do like literally 1 or 2 down here next time, but she doesn't care. Neither do I. They're cute. Just fun little socks. Socks are always a win. They feel like they take forever, but you know, always good like travel project. I have really been enjoying knitting socks for my yarn friends because it's a satisfying project to make, even though it usually takes forever. My friends just love them, honestly. Like I feel like when I pass, you know, knit socks onto their homes and they go hang out with my friends, I feel like they're always really appreciated. Next up is with the leftovers of my Mount Pleasant, Jesus. My Mount Pleasant, I had the tiniest little ball of black yarn left over. And again, this is a merino silk blend, so it is like drapey and fun and just like super soft, like incredibly soft to the touch. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be darling if I had a little knitting badge neckerchief? I have a purple one that's made with some slub yarn from Sock. She had made it for me a while ago and I wear it all the time. So I needed just a plain black one. I usually tie them up like real skinny and then do the knot on the front here. Oh, it's gonna be cute. It's so hot outside. It's so hot outside. I literally cannot have this make contact with my skin, but it will be really nice when I can wear it. It's gonna be cute. It's gonna be good. The knitting badge neckerchief is like truly one of the most instant gratification knitting patterns out there. They're awesome. I think everyone in my yarn gang at this point has one of these. This would also be fun, like if you have a group of people that you're like going to Rhinebeck or you're going to Maryland Sheep and Wool or something. These would be super cute, like little friendship scarves, you know, just a little something something. Also pro tip, just because I'm like wearing, I only have like a few rings that I really like, and this one, I was putting this on the other day because I was having a moment of delusion where I thought I was gonna wear it outside. I didn't, but This one is not super duper long. It's not quite at the point where I can make like tie the knot on the one side and slip the other tail through to have like the little knot with the two tails in the front. That's just because my gauge is always, I'm like a tight knitter, it's a little psychotic. But I was playing around with this ring the other day. Can you see this? Yeah. It has a little eyeball on it. It's just cute. It's just a cutie pie little friend. And I love these like really dark yarn neck scarves because look how fun that is. Can you see this? Isn't that cute? Just put the two tails through the little eyeball. Oh, just darling. So that's probably how I will end up wearing this whenever it's time, but it's just too damn warm right now. Next week it's supposed to go down to positively refreshing 79 degrees. Thank God. Another finished object. So this is sort of a fail. Not in like an actual way, but a fail because it was supposed to be something and it just wasn't. So this is a scarf, which again, I'm not gonna put on because I'm dying out here. But this is the woven roots scarf. I think this is a Brooklyn tweed pattern. If I were a better podcaster, I would know that for sure. But I will have this, and also everything that I talk about will be linked below. I made this scarf because I had intentions of giving this to my friend Millie for her birthday in September. And my friend Sock had passed this yarn along to me. This is Foster's Fibers in the colorway Necronomicon, which is a hilarious throwback because when I wrote the Azazel cowl pattern, I'll also put a link to that in the description box below, this was my main color. So somehow Sock ended up with 3 skeins of it. It's a worsted twist base. It's absolutely gorgeous, luscious yarn. And she had 3 skeins of it and didn't have any immediate plans and was like, hey man, do you want this yarn? And I said, yeah, I sure do. So it was in my stash for a couple months and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so plumpy and nice and just like really round, thick, like cables. Like it's beautiful. It's a little busy, honestly. Like I don't think I would ever knit anything busier than this with cables because I do think that you can't like super see it, but the texture is there. The squish factor, the feel of it is really nice. And so I knit this entire thing and I used up almost all of the yarn. I had like a little cake like this big because you know, you get to the end and you get scared and you're like, what if I don't have a knot? Like I just didn't want to deal with that. So made this whole thing and honestly, I needed 1 more skein of yarn for this to be an acceptable length for an adult. I think this is going to the bin. You can't see it because I'm just holding it up and I'm just not gonna put it on, but it's just like not, it's just not like quite long enough. Do you know what I mean? Millie has really long hair, like really, really long, like past her waistline. And when it's down, and I've seen this woman put like a scarf or a shawl or like something on herself, when it's down, she doesn't pull her hair like out of the scarf after she's done putting it on. She wraps herself up like Kenny from South Park and is like, you know, just content to exist that way. And it's adorable and I can like picture her looking that way in my mind's eye, but like this is just not long enough for her to do that because the hair just adds like so much roundness. And if I've ever had empathy for anything, you know, it's that. So this is just going to the bin. If you guys are new here, the bin is a literal bin on my shelf that I put finished objects in that I just knit for fun. And then I have, I'm part of a roller derby league and I basically just like dish them out to my pals that I play roller derby with and they're always like super stoked on it. And then anything that's left over after probably like the fall or like Christmas time, I will put aside to send to Knit the Rainbow, which is an amazing organization. I'll put the link down below, but they pass along handmade things to LGBTQIA plus youth, and I just really believe in what they do. So there's always a home for something, you know? So this was a fail, but like not really, because I still made a really long cabled scarf. And like, honestly, that's impressive because like, look at this. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. This was not mindless by any stretch, but it was fun. It was fun. The pattern is really well written. Really well written. Would recommend this pattern. It is cute. I think I made this in like a month and a half, maybe. Yeah. I'm glad I gave myself extra time because now I'm on to Millie's, I guess what will be her actual birthday present, since this one didn't work out. Another finished object I have for the bin is a tube cowl. So I've been on this kick of like really trying to work through my stash, and I know that everyone on planet Earth says that all the time, but I have forced myself to just grab yarn off the shelf and say, I'm gonna make with this. Not like, oh, am I gonna need this for something else? Oh, is this the right project? Oh, hemming and hawing and making excuses. I'm literally just knitting with what I wanna knit with, and there's gonna be more yarn where that came from, so I'm trying not to think too hard about it. So I had this skein of hand spun yarn. I spun this last year, I think I spun this last year for Tour de Fleece, and it was so pretty. This is some like space dyed fiber I got from Paradise Fibers a long time ago. They still sell it. They still have a listing for it. I don't know if they're still selling it, but it was so pretty. I don't know if these colors are showing up. Don't look at my nails. They're stained from my hair dye. But it's like this really rich, like magenta pinky color, and like the bright cobalt blue, and then this like pea soup green color, just like so fun. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but this was a 3-ply chain plied yarn, and it was just really lofty, and I was so proud of how it turned out, the yarn I mean. So this was sitting in my stash for a long time, and I was, again, hemming and hawing about it. I just knit the damn thing into a tube. So I cast on, no, not 100, 84 stitches, and I did 2x2 ribbing. I don't know, maybe like 8 rounds or something. Usually I make ribbing 8 rounds. I don't know why. It's like just a weird, I mean, I guess maybe you could say superstition, habit that I have. So I think it was 8 rounds, and then just plain stockinette. Honestly, this was an incredibly satisfying thing to make. It was just more of a process knit than a product knit, and that was nice. That was nice. A nice little refreshing project. So if you have a skein of something, this was 200, between 200 and 220 yards of, like I said, probably like a DK worsted-ish, probably a worsted-ish weight. I think this is a delightfully sized cowl, you know, when you get it all bunched up and it looks, you know, oh my god, I'm hot just holding this up to my face. Yeah, like it's cute. This yarn is a little prickly. This would be great for like working outside or going on a walk in the winter. But this is just going to the bin. This was just a stash bust slash process knit slash, I think it's incredibly important to work with your hand spun. So this was also an opportunity to work with my hand spun, which is really funny because this is only a year old and it feels like I've grown so much as a spinner since I made this. And you can actually see, I was gonna point this out, but I don't care. I am a chronic overspinner. So if you guys can see the like lean that the twist has, maybe you can't. I can when I'm looking at it, but the whole skein of yarn was completely overspun, and I personally don't care. Like, that doesn't bother me, and I would rather have overspun yarn than underspun yarn. Underspun, like, yarn is just one of my least favorite attributes, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like buy or spin loosely plied yarn because I knit with a really tight gauge. My yarn is prone to breaking. This is a type A podcast if you haven't grasped that. So plain tube cowl. If you guys want to make something similar to this or like anything that I show here, I of course have links for everything below, but I also have a link to my Ravelry page below, and I like obsessively take notes on my Ravelry page about everything that I make. And if it's something like this that's just a plain thing that I like made up the numbers for, like the stitch counts for, they're in the notes of every project. So you can make this exact thing. I have another cowl in my, oh, it's a whip. Like, I write all of that down and it's in the notes. So if it's something that I didn't use a pattern for, that's the only place that I have to like make notes for myself too. So like go in there, dig through, and just take the numbers and make something for yourself. Okay, 2 more finished objects. Jesus Christ. Oh shit, hold on. I forgot something. It's not a finished object, thank the Lord. I forgot about something that I wanted to talk about in acquisitions, and you guys know how it is. If it's not like in front of you, just totally forget about it. So anyway, as I was saying, another finished object I have. I am so excited about this. This project got finished like right when the universe started giving us 90-degree days, and it's been 90 degrees every day since I finished this shawl. So I have not gotten to wear it. I don't have any cute photos with it or of it at all. Maybe I'll take some photos in this outfit after this podcast when I can put my air conditioner back on. So this shawl is the Goldfish Memory Shawl by Casapinka. I love Casapinka as a designer, as a person. I love the entire like timeline with Sharon the cat. Like, I don't know, I think it's just funny. Like, I just think she's a funny designer. She's like the total opposite of stuffy and like uptight, and I just really appreciate that in the knitting universe. So she made this shawl pattern, and the whole point of this is that every single section is different to keep you entertained and engaged. And this, I think I went rogue with like the yarn quantities. I don't even remember. I'm very certain it calls for 3 different types of fingering weight. So if you have 3 skeins of fingering weight, which, like, get real, we all have 3 skeins of fingering weight, you can put them together in this shawl. I, of course, did not do that. I grabbed a bunch of stuff. So this is Surrey alpaca. It looks like shit on the screen, but it's really nice in real life. This is a variegated, speckly, orangey, pumpkin kind of Halloween sock set left over. The plain black is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering. Rest in peace. And the gray is some gray. I don't know, I think Sa gave this to me. You guys know how it is. I just had a skein of whatever this was. And then, oh, and then this lighter yellow is not Surrey alpaca, but these are the same color. This was a single ply. Was it? This was not a single ply. This is just some fingering weight highlighter yellow. And then this gray here, yeah, you can see. This is just one strand of a gray mohair. I think this was Plies and Hellhounds. I absolutely love the way that mohair by itself looks. I hate knitting with just mohair. These stripes were a huge pain in my ass. So anyway, those are the yarns that I used. I think, honestly, if you use this project as a true like Scrappy stash buster and every single section was totally different, I think this would make like such a lovely piece. This was my first time making I'm not even gonna say a shawl, a wrap. I think this is different because, I mean, you can wear it like a shawl, but it's not a rectangle, it's a rhombus. The sides go like this. So it's straight across and the sides go like this. So each end, you maintain the same number of stitches throughout the whole thing, which honestly, I loved. I loved the process of that. It was really like easy to just remember one number the whole time. I don't think there was really anywhere where I was like off on my stitch count, and if there was, I don't remember, so it must not have been that bad. But the experience of knitting this shape was really awesome. I find, I'm gonna put this on real quick, guys, real quick. All right, I find this shape so, oh my God, I'm gonna die, so wearable. I am one of those people that like when I wear a shawl, I want it to be like this. I want to be all like snugged up. I want to be wrapped up. I'm not a big like shawl bunched around my neck. Like I want it around my whole body, and like this just does it for me. It's great. This is a really good like wrappy like this kind of shape. Oh, look at that. Wow. I wish I weren't dying right now. This would be great if you had, I'm not even gonna put it over my head. If you had to put it, you know, like around your head for the warmth, like a hood inside of a coat. Just really fun. So would recommend this. It's super nice, great pattern, you know, would recommend. This, like I said, took me maybe like a month or so. I don't remember, but it went really quickly. I had a lot of fun making it. She's great. My last finished object, by the grace of God. Also, we're not talking about Tour de Fleece in this video, just so you know. That's gonna be a separate video with a special guest. But right now, this is just catching you guys up on what I've been doing for the last 3 months of the stuff that I have. So most recently, and by most recently, I mean like 2 days ago, this just came off the blocking mats today, I made another tube cowl. This is the, oh, I need my phone. This is the Annika stranded cowl. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I was just looking for something that was like literally the most basic color work, because in this cowl, the yarns are doing the talking. So you might be able to see that this has sort of like a watercolory look to it. I held some really insanely variegated mohair with like a plain, unremarkable tonal, like wheat color for the main color. And then I'm sure this is not gonna show up, but the contrast color is a really pale non-superwash held with one strand of Barocco Ariel in powder, which is like a very, very, very almost white pale pink. And I just wanted this to be like equal parts stash buster and then also like a fuzzy cowl. Can you see the halo on that? Yeah, a little bit. This is lovely. This is lovely. My friend Megan gave me the skein of the watercolor effect mohair, and it was very unique. Actually, let me grab it. It's hard to describe. So this is the mohair in question. Pretty weird, right? It's just like, it's a lot. And like, I don't even know if these colors necessarily like work together, but when you put them with another color, like I said, it just gives this like really dimensional effect that's very subtle. I mean, from back here, it just looks like, you know, like a brown or like a mustard kind of color. But I love this. This cowl pattern was super fun. I love a free pattern. It's just like basic, you know, color work. Easy to modify, super cute. I would definitely recommend this pattern. If you are new to color work, I would especially recommend this pattern. This would be a fantastic first color work project for like anybody. So that is the Annika stranded cowl. I think that's the last finished object. Holy Jesus. I only have one whip that I'm able to share with you because like I said, the other thing is what I'm knitting Millie for her birthday. So we're gonna get into my whip, just the one. I have one non-Tour de Fleece spinning project that's ready to show. And then I also have a ton of acquisitions in a good way. So my whip is like honestly not even interesting, but I do want to show it because I think it's pretty, and another one of those like stash busting process knits. This is definitely for the bin. This is not for anybody. It'll just find a home in due time. But this is a super cutie pinky cowl. It looks a little fleshy on camera, but in real life it's giving Valentine's. It's not giving like bisection. But this is 2 strands of yarn held together, 1 sport and 1 mohair. I just did my superstitious 8 rounds of ribbing. I did 3x3 ribbing on this cowl. I like it. It's cute, you know. You gotta get your kicks somewhere. So the 2 yarns I'm holding together are this one, and this one. This is so cute. This is Barocco Ariel. Barocco Ariel is my favorite budget mohair. I am very sensitive to everything in this life, and especially yarn, and this doesn't bother me at all. It's wonderful, would recommend. This yarn is a sport weight 100% superwash merino. This is Lola Bean yarn. I have no idea where I got this. I've had it for a while, I suspect. Everybody knows Lola Bean. There she is. This is the Canary Bean sport weight base, 100% superwash merino, and the colorway is the Cheshire Cat colorway. So this is 328 yards. I plan on knitting until I run out of one of these things, which I suspect could be the mohair first, but I don't know. I have quite a bit of it left. You know how hard it is to tell like mohair caked up. Looks like there's not too much of it, but there's probably a ton of yardage in there. So this is my whip. I just put a progress keeper on, of course, after I was knitting on it all morning. So this isn't indicative of what I've done today. But this progress keeper is one of those strawberry candies. Brienne bought that for me. And then my friend Haley Nordstrom bought me these so long ago. They're little skulls. So cute. So that's my whip. It's literally just, we're just making tubes, guys. We're just making tubes. That's my whip. I have other whips, but they're none of your business right now. On to my only non-Tour de Fleece spinning project. I actually have a bit of other non-Tour de Fleece spinning projects, but they are literally drying right now, so I'm not able to show them to you without making a mess. This, if I can find, oh Jesus, I don't know if I put any extra butterfly knots in here. Anyway, this is some yarn that I spun from my Scrappy bobbin. This was my last spin on the Kromsky Minstrel. I finally hawked that and bought myself an e-spinner, but this was on one of the bobbins that I had to clear off before I sold it. This is all scrappy little odds and ends from spins that I had, or if I had a really small amount of yarn left over when I was plying and that like the plies just weren't 100% even, that all got put into one giant bobbin, and then I chain plied this. So it's literally like all fiber types, all kinds of everything chain plied. I have I can see, where'd you go? I have a huge section here of the, oh, focus, you jerk. I have a huge section here of these, the pink strands. And other than that, I think that's the only like really large stretch of one color that I have. Everything else is pretty darn random. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I feel like this would be a really cute, accent in like a brioche project. Shit, I forgot. I forgot I had another finished object. I did a brioche project that it was the Harlow flip hat. God damn it. Okay, hold on. This is all this is. I'm gonna go grab that stupid hat because my point in saying this is that I feel like this would be really fun in a brioche project held with a solid. I think it would just be like really cute and like let all of the uniqueness of this just kind of shine. So this is my spinning project. Okay, God. Well, I actually found more stuff, so let's just talk about this brioche project first. This is the Harlow flip hat. Everyone was making this a few months ago. I definitely, now that I'm looking at this, I really want to make one of these for myself for winter time. They're cute. So this is a pattern by Andrea Mallory. It comes in a bunch of sizes. This one I think is the first size, and it still turned out pretty big. I'm not a tight knitter. I know brioche is like a really large stitch. Like usually brioche projects turn out much larger. There's a ton of stretch and everything to this. If you're gonna knit the Harlow flip hat and you're making it like for yourself, like an adult human being, I would definitely not knit the last two sizes. Like maybe start with the middle size and then see how it's going, because the middle size seemed plenty big to me. And the reason I know that is because I knit this like 3 times. So this was the 3rd time. This finally worked out. I got like just really confused. I mean, God, you can see it here too. I got really confused about like where you literally flip, the Harlow flip. But I managed to figure it out, I mean, eventually. But I messed it up so many times that I was like, I'm not gonna cast on another adult size hat if I'm just gonna like mess it up. So I made the smallest size. So I think this will go to a little one in my life. I mean, not that little. This is, I don't know. This is the smallest size. I made it, God bless. I actually did a little sample, like just like kind of like a gaiter, like a neck tube, with 2 yarns also. I had a handspun, this handspun gray. I think Sock gave me that. And then I had some color changing like Noro. This was just to do the brioche stitch and like not have to worry about increases or decreases or changing or anything. I just wanted some brioche practice. I finally got it. I've been trying to learn brioche for many, many years. Finally got it. This yarn would look so cute in a brioche project. So fun. The other thing I found while I was in the bin, this has no purpose. I made a little watermelon bandana. Isn't this cute? So, yeah. Not much to say about this. I'm a big fan of the crochet bandanas. I know why I made this. This, from the white to the end of the red color here, is handspun yarn. And it faded from this to the red, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do with this random little amount of yarn? And I started working with it, and I was like, oh my God, this looks like a watermelon. So then I jumped in and added this green on. I did like a little scallop border. Don't ask me how I did that. I just like freehanded it, and some ties. But yeah, she's cute. This doesn't have a home either. Just going to the bin. Really need to cake this up sooner than later because this is a disaster. I'm really bad at making hanks of yarn. I don't know why that is. You guys will see when I do my Tour de Fleece video. They look absurd, like completely absurd. Oh my God. They're always like too tight on one end, but like not tight enough on the other. I don't know how these yarn dyers do it. Anyway, there she is. Okay, now it's time for acquisitions. This first one is technically not an acquisition because this is not for me and I didn't buy it. But my friend asked if I would spin her some yarn because she wanted to make a project for a friend of hers who loves her things that she makes and everything. And she's a crocheter. So she got 4 ounces of this. This is called Rhubarb Crumble. It is 62.5% Polworth wool, 37.5% South American wool, and viscose tweed. Those are some really specific numbers, but this is from Walnut Farm Designs. She got this off of Etsy. She got 4 ounces, and I actually have a huge amount of like plain cream colored fiber, so I think I'll probably end up spinning this as 1 ply, and then the cream colored fiber as the other ply, just to get as much yardage out of this as I can. But since this is for a crocheter, I actually am going to spin the singles with an S twist and then ply it with a Z twist, which I've never done intentionally. So that'll be fun, something different, but I've just been having so much fun on my e-spinner. I just got the electric eel wheel 6.1. We'll talk more about that on my Tour de Fleece episode, but this will be a fun upcoming thing to do. So I'm excited about that. The next couple things I got from the Moon and Yarn Craft Room. The Moon and Yarn Craft Room is an absolutely stunning, jaw-dropping yarn store experience in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Links to the craft room will be below. You should definitely follow on Instagram, keep up with them. My friend Brienne owns it. It's the best yarn store. It's so cute. I went shopping there a few months ago, and I've been holding this yarn hostage because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, and then 3 months went by. I got 3 skeins of Hedgehog Fibers minis. Do I know what I'm gonna do with these? No, but they're cute and I like them. So these were in, you guys know, if you've been to a yarn store that sells these, they put them in like a big bin. It's like peak whimsy. You just reach your hand in there and see what comes out. These are just, they're just fun. They're just fun. I have a lot, you guys can probably tell, like here, my whole house is like a craftsman style house, and there's big like archways that separate the rooms, and I want to make some garland to hang across like this dark wood because I think it would show up really nicely. And I have a particular vision of knitting mini sweaters and then stringing them all up on a piece of garland, and I thought it would be so fun and perfect use of minis to spin these up, to knit these up into little sweaters. In addition to the little guys, I got 2 full skeins. This is Misha and Puff. I'm very certain that this yarn line is discontinued now. This is 100% superwash merino. It is 100 grams of worsted-ish weight. I got this because I thought this would be a really nice color to hold with. I have like a couple skeins that this could be really nice with. They're like super intense, variegated, multicolored, crazy, and I thought this would be a great brioche situation. So I'm glad I finally talked about this on this podcast because I would love to make something with this ASAP. And then the second skein I got, I just can't help myself. Anytime Brienne has the Moon and Yarn like specialty colorways, I feel a very sick compulsion to buy them. I love this. This is so like, this like absolutely triggers something in my brain that like feels really good. This is River Rat Yarns. Cheers to 2 years. It was the Moon and Yarn 2-year anniversary colorway. It's a DK weight and it's 246 yards. I just love this. I really, really love this. This I have no idea what on earth this is gonna be. Like I said, it was a total compulsion. And it's very rare that I have compulsions like that to just buy something like for absolutely no idea, no thoughts, head empty. But I gotta catch them all. I gotta catch all the Moon and Yarn colorways. Those were from the craft room. The last time I was there was the first time I had gotten to see Brienne's new location. Truly heartwarming, like literally my happy place, best place on earth. The last acquisition that I have is so amazing. If you guys watch this podcast, I'm sure you watch Jack in the Attic. She is so cute. I just love her podcast. I love her podcast so much. I sent her like a little goodie package of like a painting and like a knitting, like a gothy knitting print and some stickers, just like stupid shit that was like, here, I like your podcast. And she dyed yarn for me in return. And this is what she mailed to me. I love this so much. So she mailed me 2 plumpy skeins of this super spooktacular colorway. I think I have held on to this. Obviously it's still here in skein form. I think that I really want to make this the color work in a yoked sweater and then hold black as the main color. I don't know how that's going to manifest yet, but it would be really cool. I've been looking at Suzanne Summers patterns a lot lately. I thought Suzanne Summers was like, forgive my expression, but like just an old ass knitting lady. She's not. She is really cute. She has like a fun little haircut and she's like fashionable and like she's just like a little peanut. She's really cute. And so I just found her I've known about her patterns, but I never looked at them because I thought they were like old lady patterns. But it turns out they're really cool. And she does a lot of like brioche, squishy things. And I just feel like this with like a solid black would just do this like so much justice. Oh, I just love these. Oh my God. So pretty. It's giving Frankenstein. Ugh. Love it. So I'm still riding this high from when I opened these a couple weeks ago. Obsessed. The only other thing I wanted to mention that's new, in addition to everything that's new, is that I recently got, for the first time in my life, a cedar chest to put all of my knits and crochets and makes in, and it has been so lovely. I'm in the process of going through like a seasonal kind of wash of everything that I own. So I've been like slowly like wool washing everything, having it dry, and then tucking it away in my cedar chest. And it's just so, it's at the foot of my bed. I'll see if I can like put in a picture. It's just so amazing to finally have one of these. I knew we were gonna be moving, which put off like honestly like a lot of things in my life. I've basically been in like fight or flight mode for the last like 2 years, knowing that like the house thing was on the horizon eventually. And I finally treated myself to a cedar chest. I found a really big plain one. It was a lady's and she's dead now. I got it off Facebook Marketplace and it's just really incredible. It's, like I said, plain but completely functional. There's like a little, like a locking mechanism, and there's no key, but you like just push on the lock and the lid opens and everything. But it's in exceptional condition. I got it for $100. God bless Nate, he like carried the whole thing in here. Amazing, beautiful, love it. And it's funny because I've put a lot of stuff in there and it's still so empty. Like it just has so much room, and it's such a beautiful thing to have like at the foot of my bed. And the cats love it. Of course they do. But that's really cool. I'm just excited to finally have that. If you guys have been thinking about getting a cedar chest or you're cedar chest curious, you should just look into it. There's a ton out there on Facebook Marketplace. There's some really like visually interesting ones. There's some that are like really plain. There's some that are super expensive. There are some that are, people are like, just please get this thing out of my house. But there's a lot out there, and I'm so happy that I finally have one. It like just was a really nice treat for myself. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's probably a lot more that I'm like forgetting, but honestly, it's like really hot. My air conditioner has been off. I'm sweaty. I have a drippy drop. The black hair dye is temporary. My hair was a really light color and I put this over top of it. I'm basically like renting black hair right now. And if I decide that I want to keep it, then I will put a more permanent situation on my head, but this is just Arctic Fox Transylvania, and it's coming out, you know. God willing, the next episode that I have for you guys will be a roundup of all of my Tour de Fleece spins. I spun a lot. I was able to surpass last year's yardage goal, which is really cool. I have a lot to share there, but again, I will have a special guest on with me. Thank you guys. If you are still here listening to this, God bless you. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.